I'm going to be talking about three stocks, 3 different days. Normally, I don't allow my recordings to go past 2 days. I like to keep like 2 days of trading in one, but today I have three because I've been slacking on it, on recording, because I have my final exam coming up soon. I've just been trying to prepare for that and trade at the same time. And I kind of been slacking on studying and doing the videos because I've been studying my other stuff and I just got back to work. So it's like uh, my time has dropped by uh, a third. So a third of my time has been taken away from work, which is making studying for school, trading, and doing videos, and exercising less. But I'm gonna keep it up and correct it. But to go into trading, um, this was on the 6th of December, 2021. On Monday, I traded this stock. Um, from my account, it says that I took a $722 loss, which is I don't think is accurate because I recall it was $1,200 loss. Um, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't remember. But looking at my account details, it's saying um, on this stock it was a $1,200 loss. I mean, right now it's telling me it's a $722 loss, but I recall it being a 1,200 and something dollar loss. Excuse me. Um, so to go into this trade, I spent the entire weekend studying 945 Dipping Ribs. I bought Tim Bowen's ebook. What got to me out of all his long patterns was um, 945 Dipping Ribs. The short stuff, I understand it enough, but I'm not even shorting right now, so I didn't even read that part too much. I read it, but I didn't read it much. But just the long stuff, it was mainly just like how to trade the first green day, um, towards the end of the first green day, the next day, and so on and so forth. Um, Different patterns towards the end of the first green day and then the multi-green day. Um, and then it just the pattern just it cycles. Um, but mainly the 945 dipping rip. So I mentally prepped myself to trade the 945 dipping rip. I kept telling myself, I kept trying to prep myself the whole 9 yards. So that was the plan. Market opened. This stock, ACET, was the biggest percent gainer, one of the biggest percent gainers. I guess they're dumping shares now, but this is 3 days later. Um, this is a good stock to short. I don't know how they performed today, but they seem like they were up today. They announced it 24 hours ago, 23 hours ago, so last night, and today they dumped some, and it's still uptrending. But when I was trading it, it announced that it had a positive interim clinic data from first. It was just positive clinical data. I don't know with what, but I know it's positive clinical data. I went to go look at the statistics. Um, 12 million, no implied uh, shares, but there is a 31 million outstanding shares. Go to the SEC filings. Um, this just happened, but most recent offering. I remember this stock had an offering, and I looked at. So when you look at the yearly chart, which I'm not going to show you here because it takes so long to go all the way back to this day. But you can see it was a very choppy stock, and I'll show that after I explain my trade. Hopefully I remember. But there was an offering, and going into today, it was perking up. I started seeing it around, like I think here. Um, I got in the small size at first, um, and then I loaded up right here, and I went in too big right here. I told myself to get in with just 500, and I ended up doing more than that. Let me look at it now. Um, Looking at my chart, my trade history. Um, I got in with first 500, then I added 300, and added another 40. Um, so I went 500 right here, then I added 300. That was my max. And then it pulled back. Right here, I was down a substantial amount. I can't remember, or I don't remember. Um, but you see these long wicks right here? This was actually happening. Um, I could see orders on the time and sales and the level twos that orders all the way down here was executing, and my level twos was like here and shit on my other screen. Excuse me. Excuse me. And on my other screen, orders were actually getting executed. And the reason being is because someone's manipulating the stock. Um, and I'm witnessing it. And I'm kind of like, man, I wish I didn't get the stock because it's giving me already a hard time. And I wasn't disciplined enough to wait for the 945 when I should have. The stock started bouncing eventually, and I was up like $700-800 here. Honestly, when I was up right here, I was thinking to myself, will it break past 15? And I saw that it was struggling to break past 15, and it started pulling back. And as it pulled back, as it pulled back, I thought it was going to hold up above this candlestick at 1453. It didn't, and it broke it, and then it's consolidating right here, kind of. And I'm like, okay, I gave back two, three, maybe $400. Um, and I'm like, okay, I told myself, okay, it's not breaking past 15. Um, you gotta be okay with willing to give back half your shares, maybe all. I mean, half your profits, or maybe all of it, because you're not getting out right here when you're supposed to, because it's pushed up to 15, but it's not going any further. And then it started pulling back, and I'm like, okay, I'm willing to give back half my account, half my profits, which was like $400, and I'll be left with $400 in profits in total. My profits were 800, and I was willing to give back half of that. Then when I actually got to that position where it pulled back half, I'm like, okay, let me give it some more time because it might just pull back a little bit, consolidate, take a breather, and squeeze up again. But you got to understand, pre-market's not like the actual market. Not everybody can get in. But not only that, I failed to accept that if it didn't go my way, I would get out. And I gave back 400, and it kept pulling back, and I broke even, and then I got into the negatives. And I never took that 400 that I was supposed to take right here, and I never took that break even that I was supposed to take right here. Then it pushed up right here, and I was like, okay, take whatever you can and get out. Out at some point, either here or here, or maybe even here. I was up 400 and 300 and 200, and I was supposed to take my gains, and I still didn't take it because I was being stubborn. And I'm like, okay, maybe. And I got this bright idea from my imagination. Just started training with my imagination because I became a backboarder at this point. I said maybe it might do a 945 dip and then rip, and I'm thinking it's gonna rip, and I can get out with a nice profit. And I added here my I had literally no more cash that was settled, but it was like a couple $100 that allowed me to buy another 40 shares. Um, and I purchased whatever I could, and I dropped my average down just a little bit. And 945 came, it didn't bounce, and I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting, and it just started pulling back, and I think I was down a substantial amount right here, and I got lucky. It started perking up, and you know the 945 dip and rip is not exactly at 945. It can be after 945. It can be just a little bit before 945. Sometimes it doesn't even bounce at all. And it it started bounce. It started uptrending, holding support, and I'm watching it with like my eyes glued to the screen. Um, Bounced again, held, bounced again, held. But every time it pulled back pretty hard. You see this big candlestick right here. It pulled back pretty hard. I thought it was gonna break this lower day. Pushed up, perked up, then got rejected. Uh, uh, had a nice pullback right here. Then pushed up, got rejected, and had a nice drop right here. Broke the support at this point. I was confused. I'm like, I already knew this is going to be a choppy stock. I'm about to show you the yearly chart. Um, but I already told myself, I said, this stock is one of those stocks where it spikes, but it's a one and done stock for sure. But this stock is either gonna spike really big or panic really big, and one big panic is gonna take the stock out for the rest of the day and kill the momentum. Then right here it started squeezing, and it pushed back up to 1440, and I got a second chance to get out with about $400 gain, $500 gain, and I didn't take it. And it started consolidating, and each time like, bro, get out, just get out, and it just had that big panic. First of all, I had a big pullback. And I'm like, okay, maybe this pullback might be a pullback and then just uptrend. And it looked like it too. The same way it looked here, where it was pushing up, holding support, and breaking the previous resistance level, pulling back, and push up again, break the previous resistance level, and then spike. I thought the same thing was going to happen here because I'm like, normally these big spikes will have, I'll get two big spikes, but I didn't get that. And I can tell this stock was being highly manipulated. You see these choppy trend and these wicks, all these wicks here, the stock is being sold into each minute of the way. And I thought, okay, it pulled back. Yeah, I broke even, and I actually was down at some point in this trade after it pulled back. But it was holding support here, 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 and it wasn't breaking the previous resistance. It wasn't breaking this resistance, nor this resistance, nor this resistance. But I thought it was just like, and it's okay for me to try to anticipate what's going to happen. But it was just um, consolidating, and with each consolidation period, it got tighter and tighter. Whenever a consolidation period gets tighter, it's about to make its way. It's about to make its decision of whether it's going to go up or down, and it just consolidated, and then just came crashing down. And I told you earlier in this video, like these choppy, highly manipulated stocks, they're going to either spike really big, or the momentum is going to get really killed by one big panic. And even when the stock spikes really big on a choppy and highly manipulated stock, after it spikes really big, it's gonna get met with a heavy amount of selling pressure because the company is manipulating the stock, their own stock, um, and traders can see what I'm seeing as well. And after that, I just I was stunned, and I didn't want to take this loss. But at this point, I just said fuck it, and I got out. Honestly, uh, the loss was really big for me. But looking at the chart, um, let me zoom back out. Looking at the chart again, there was no real reason for me to get out because I was down a large amount here. So if I wasn't willing to get out here, why get out here? But the reason why I did get out here is because it broke this point right here, and then I just left it alone. Um, and I didn't want it to be a continual just fader, fader, fader. I thought it was just gonna keep fading from there. Um, but even though I'm about to say, oh, I should have just held on and see what it was gonna do because it's not like it really broke any support. Well, it broke this support level, but it's like, excuse me, it's not like I was down a substantial amount, and the lower day didn't even break. But because I was trading this so undisciplined, just fuck everything up. Um, but it pulled back. I should have saw the bigger picture here and try to see if it would bounce again, but it didn't, and I didn't do it, and it ended up squeezing all the way, breaking past the $15 level dollar price that I wanted it to break and going to a high of 1567, and that's what I was trying to anticipate. Um, but I missed it, and I thought I took a $1,200 loss, but it's saying that I took a $722.61 loss. But I don't know. I don't think that's accurate. Um, but it is what it is. I didn't know it was gonna squeeze like this. But not only that, I should have been disciplined the whole way. And then after this big spike, they dumped all the shares again, and the rest of the day is just chopped around. Had another drop again, chopped around, but bounced pretty nicely from 1270 all the way up to 1370, so a dollar bounce, and then you went higher to another dollar bounce, but not even another dollar, but it went from 1270, 1370, 1388. So we had multiple chances to get out into strength, but that's something I've been learning, trading and going long, is to get out into strength. I see the strength, but I want more strength, and I'm improving on that little by little. Um, and then I didn't watch it the rest of the days, the next few days, and as you can see here. Uh, After I traded it here, it kept uptrending, um, and uptrended again. Curious to see will it break this high day of 1567. It hit 1577, so it broke it by a few cents, about 10 cents, but no volume. We see here as it's uptrending, no volume, no volume. So there has to be real volume for me to actually want to get into it. Uh, but I do want to put this on my watch list. Uh, it is on my watch list. Not probably not to trade it, but just to see how stocks trend in the course of multiple days. Because I'm starting to, I hate trading stocks. I hate trading on stocks that have like multiple, or I hate going long on days on stocks that have multiple days of uptrend. It's really confusing to me on how to trade it. But now that I'm getting a better understanding of going long, because I'm primarily a short seller. Like all I since I've been trading, I'm mainly short. I'm really good at it. I tried going long. I hated it. Shorting is way more easier. I can see, I can watch a multi-day stock, a stock go up for multiple days, and I can short it each day because I can tell when the top is in, short it, leave it alone for the rest of the day, watch it the next day, let it squeeze up, midday, it's at its highest point, short again, and then wait for the its last big run up and it's short, and then watch it crash all the way back to its original level that it started before its run up. So shorting has always been easier, but going long, all you do is flip the chart upside down, and it's a long chart. Uh, uh, um, or when I'm looking at it from a shorting perspective, all I ever have to do is just flip it upside down. It's long, and I just had to learn how to trade it. But I'm not that good at trading it, so it's like I never traded. But now that I'm practicing it and I'm studying it better, and not only am I studying it, I um, have greater knowledge, so it makes it easier for me to study. So I'm getting better at it. So I want to watch these multiple days so I can see how to trade on a dip. But you see, it has some one and done, so just a little bit right here. But it has resistance as well. 16, 15 looks like it was its previous resistance. But then again, no value. There's no value. So it probably can break it, but then again, it still got to break this 1567 resistance and break this one and break this one at 17, $18. So we'll see how it reacts. It has to build back to that 40 million volume, but I don't know. I was gonna do another video for the next 2 days, but I'm tired, my head hurts, so I'm gonna do the rest of the videos tomorrow. I got a lot going on, so I am isolating myself from everybody and honing my focus. Thank you.